All right, men, welcome to today's episode of Strong Men, Strong Marriages. Is it worth the cost? So, you've got goals in your life. You're on this podcast because you have relationship goals. Now, a little bit of a teaser for the new year. We are going to be changing the name of the podcast, changing kind of what we're doing uh, overall. Instead of solely focusing on marriage, we're talking about becoming men who are grounded in God and who feel that in themselves, who are connected to God in that great way, connect to themselves, and then build great relationships and then achieve great things in the world with the talents that God's given them. So, and building a community and brotherhood of guys that are wanting to do that, that are high achieving guys, that feel a lot of pressure to perform, that don't want to feel that anymore, and still want to achieve great things, but from a place of abundance instead of like, oh, I have to do this. So that's where we're going. And if you want to join us in that, we'd love to have you. But for today, we're still called Strong Men, Strong Marriages. Um, and yeah, is it worth the cost? So again, you've got goals, you've got relationship goals, you got business goals, you've got, probably a guy who sets goals. Um, but there's a cost to every goal. And you got to figure out, man, is it worth the cost? And also figure out what the cost is useful. But my name is Mike Fraser, MD. I'm a psychiatrist and marriage coach, and I help high achieving Christian men have more intimate marriages and become more grounded in God, move from pressure and performance to peace, purpose, and power. That's kind of the way we're going here. So, wins from guys in the program: more connection with family, feeling stronger, more connected to themselves, to God, improved communication, having good talks together, just feeling more grounded overall. Guys are, and yeah, when you do that, look, your wife is looking for a guy who is grounded, who feels solid, who tends to his own emotions well, who waters and grows the thoughts that bring the fruits of the spirit, right? When you're that kind of guy, your wife's going to be attracted to you. Now, you also need to learn how to operate in the sexual system that helps a woman become sexually aroused and attracted, which is separate from other systems. It's separate from, for example, making money system. Those two don't go together. But anyway, we'll talk about all that in the new program in the coming year. So if you're interested, send me an email. We'll talk. So guys, I'm having some great fruit growing in my life and marriage. My wife and I had a lot of intimacy just last night on our date night. It was awesome. And it's because of this, right? About putting the work in, about being grounded myself, her being able to feel safe enough then to open up to me and like for that flower to bloom, right? So I'm asking you this: what is it that you want most? For me, I've identified it as a life full of people I love and who love me and sharing meaningful memories and adventures together. That's what I want, right? And it sounds awesome. That kind of life sounds amazing. But here's the thing: everything great, it comes at a cost, okay? So, what is the cost for this life that I'm defining as my goal, okay? It sounds like, oh, let's just walk outside and everybody loves each other and we're having lots of fun together, right? Sure. And there are going to be times like that. But what is the cost? The cost to get there. First of all, I got to love myself, because if I don't, I'm going to be dependent on everybody else to give me love. And that's where I've been for a lot of my life. And that causes issues with relationships, causes codependence, causes all kinds of problems. Groundedness in God, right? Feeling like God's got me. If I don't feel like that, again, I start trying to borrow that from other people. I don't feel good inside myself, okay? The cost is not being dependent on other people for my worth, okay? That's a tough one. That's a pretty big cost, okay? I need to learn how to tend to my own thoughts and emotions. That's a really big cost. It costs time, effort, skill. All those two, a lot of that is skill. I feel like groundedness in God, it's also skill, but it's like experiential. So you get out there, you experience that over and over, that God's got you, and you seek for that and you feel that and you get that, right? Tending to your thoughts, emotions, more skill building, takes practice, reps. They both take reps, but like the feeling of love from God, he kind of like, that's a gift, he gives that to you. Learning to tend your own thoughts, emotions, you learn the skills, you practice them, okay? You also need to understand how relationships actually work in love, right? It's not forced. It's not, yeah. has to grow. I'm really liking the gardening analogy. That's how we're shifting to grounded in God versus strong men, strong marriages. Um, it's learning to tend those relationships in the right way. Um, and also understanding that, hey, one loving relationship might look different than another, even and especially with my own kids. Like, that's a big cost for me. I'm having to understand, just because I think it should be a certain way, that may not be how it goes. And like, the path to get to a great relationship may be very different from one kid to another. I don't really like that. I would prefer to have it be, follow these 3 steps to have a great relationship. Okay. Those steps, there's some principles for sure that you follow, but the way that one kid feels loved and valued might be very different than another kid. And it's kind of annoying. It would be nice if everybody kind of felt and received love the same way. But it's a cost, right? That's a cost to having those great relationships. So what's my big cost right now? My big cost right now is deciding how to deal with a son who is ignoring me. And as I was writing this, I got a good revelation, but I want to kind of work through this with you. Like, for some reason, that ignoring, man, it just hits me really hard. It makes me want to say, just, hey, look, be nice to me or move out. I don't want to really be around you if you're going to be rude. Okay, that's what I feel like. Now, I've heard people say to me, well, look, he's probably doing it because he's been hurt, right? And it didn't really connect with me. And so, but today, as I was writing this, right, and I'm fasting today to try to get some insight into this particular problem, and I feel like I got it as we were going through here. So thank you, God. Thank you guys for praying for me. But yeah, what I saw today is like, yeah, that's what's going on. Okay. He's hurting me on purpose. He is. He knows this is hurtful. I've told him a bunch of times. He still does it. Okay. So he's hurting me on purpose. There's not a question. So what I would usually say that in my own head is like, well, he needs to grow up. He's 19 now. He should be figuring this stuff out. And really putting it all on him, right, to change. Because I'm like, I'm being nice to you. Why don't you be nice to me? But hey, internally, right, I'm pretty mean. Like, I'm thinking mean stuff. I'm imagining mean stuff, right? It's not good. Like, and I've been trying to catch that and say, okay, hey, look, man, water what you want to grow with your thoughts. That has been helpful to redirect, to remember the positive things recently that have happened. But anyway, like, the truth of the matter is, he probably is doing this because I've hurt him. And I have had said lots of hurtful things to him over the years, and even recently, like pretty mean stuff I have, right? And so he is wanting to hurt me back. The other thing that was frustrating to me before just a few minutes ago, and I kind of got this revelation, was like, I can't make him not ignore me. Okay. So I've tried it. I've tried by getting him at him. Hey, like, you can't do this. This hurts me. You need to change, right? It just does not work at all. In fact, he withdraws more. He ignores more. It feels like a power play, and it is very hard for me to not try to exercise power and be the dominant one, especially in my own family. Very difficult for me. So the let them theory that I just read, right, it would talk about, well, let him ignore me, let him think what he wants to think, which kind of worked. But what finally connected for me today is just like the let me part. Okay, so let him do that, right? But let me, okay, feel the hurt. Let me put down good seeds. But this is what connected to me today. It's like, man, just let me understand that when, like, that hurt comes to me, like, that's a reflection of his hurt. Like, the way he hurts me by ignoring me, that's probably how it felt to him when I was saying rude and mean stuff to him, right? Like, when I feel this hurt by ignoring, imagine his hurt from the mean things I've said and thought about him. Man, and like, that really connects with me. Yeah, like, that's just some of that pain coming back. So if I feel that, probably his pain is like that, or maybe even worse. Probably even worse, actually, because it's a dad to a son, which is like, a son isn't really supposed to be building me up, right? That's not really his job. Even though I have kind of put that on them over time, I'm working to change that, right? But I've thought that way. And man, that's another connection right now as I'm talking, just another kind of connection from God. Like, you're still doing that when you're saying he has to change. But yeah, like, so I do feel hurt when he ignores me. I do 100%. My typical thing is to go to anger and try to make the other person change. That's how I deal with being hurt by somebody. have reacted that way, making adjustments now. So it's just like, okay, so I feel hurt. I do. But imagine how he was hurt when I was saying rude and mean things to him, right? Of course, it makes sense that he would want to hurt me back, okay? So what can I do? Keep planting good seeds, right? Apologize to him a lot, right? About the mean things I've said. Show up differently, show up in a caring way, okay? So he's protecting himself. He is hurting me back. But in some ways, like, I kind of think it's good now, which is a pretty major shift from the 40 minutes ago. But it's probably good. He's releasing some of that hurt onto me, okay? Because I put a lot of hurt onto him, so he's releasing some back onto me. It's probably good. He probably needs to eject some of that hurt onto me and have me kind of handle it and me apologize and see it for what it is, which is the hurt I put on him coming back at me, okay? So I appreciate God giving me that, right? It's the pain I've caused him coming back at me. I put it all on inside of him. He's releasing some of it back on me, right? So again, thank you, God, for that revelation. But in summary, like, what do you want most? Okay. Maybe it's like me. Maybe you want a life full of great relationships, great experiences with people you love and that love you. Okay. Maybe that's what you want. At most, right? You probably also got other goals, right? Oh, I want to, okay, a six pack is a great one. Okay. Yeah. I want a six pack. What's the cost? Oh boy. Like, there's a big cost to that. It's mainly diet and giving up a lot of the things that in a American diet taste good. Big cost, right? Okay, is it worth it? I have gone down that road multiple times and kind of come to the decision, for me, it's not worth it. Like, that cost is not worth it. I can see 4 of my abs, and I'm fine with that because that still lets me eat treats and things. But, what's the cost? What's the cost? Do you really want it that bad? And yeah, are you willing to pay that cost or not, right? Sometimes the answer is going to be no. But if it's yes, okay, it's probably a good idea to have some support along the way, because sometimes it can feel like, I don't know if I really want to do this anymore. I don't think I want to pay this cost anymore. With relationships, it can be especially that way, right? Because a lot of that depends on what the other person's up to and what they're doing, right? Unless you're feeling more grounded with God and you're doing a good job tending to your thoughts and emotions. But even when you're doing all that, right, it's just nice to have some people who are cheering for you and rooting for you. And we want to do that. We want to be that in what will be grounded in God in the new year. We want to be that for each other. So yeah, it's shifting. It's going to be called Grounded in God, helping high achieving Christian men move from pressure and performance to peace, power, and purpose. That's what we're doing. Okay. First group's going to be January 2026. So visit strongmen.io, join the email list. You'll get an email series about marriage stuff, which will still be helpful, of course. But I'm going to have a page up pretty soon, hopefully this coming week, where it'll explain about the program. We'll do a quick call, make sure it's a good fit. We're just having a few guys join. It's kind of a pilot program. We'll be asking those guys for some testimonials so we can share those with people and and get the feedback to continue to make it better. So again, visit strongman.io, join the email list. If you want to join Grounded in God in January, send me an email and we'll set up a call to talk. But stay strong in God. I'm just going to start shifting up. Let's be grounded in God, men, and we will see you next episode.